why have extensive punitive measures achieved significant and lasting results within multinational corporations, but not at the state level? So multinational corporation, and this is true not only for Siemens, but is true for most of the multinationals, have successfully moved from a culture of corruption at a time where corruption was used as a business driver. They moved to a zero tolerance of corruption. I know the Siemens case, and I can affirm that this is the true. In Siemens, it's an example that we use in teaching compliance and to teach integrity. And the question, should state learn from corporate example? Because they're both entities, they are different. Multinational corporations, they are different from states, but they share a common potential for exposure to corruption. And they also share the same experience, as both were subjected to massive prosecution. And we can see here that the scale of corruption is always proportionate to the turnover and to the number of employees. And in this table, you can see here that Siemens, the turnover of Siemens is 3 times the annual budget of a country of Tunisia, is 7 times the annual budget of a country like Brazil. It's 7 times also the budget of Uganda. The number of employees is also the half of the employees in public sector in Tunisia, the double of employees in the public sector of a country like Senegal. If you see Amazon, it's much more enormous. Amazon, it's the budget, the turnover of Amazon is the budget, the annual budget of 10 African countries in the number of employees. So the potential of exposure to corruption is almost the same. But why the massive prosecution succeeded in these corporations and failed in most of the countries? Because, and this is the moral of the story, a punitive actions, and this is what I want you to take away. A punitive actions should be limited in time. This was the case of international corporations. Should be limited in time, in scope, and purpose. It should aim to rehabilitation, not a revenge. A prosecution is not a revenge against political party, against individuals. It's just an act of rehabilitation. And this massive prosecution against international corporation, they prevent the downfall of the company. When the World Bank and the judiciary system prosecuted the Siemens, the first objective was to save Siemens as a company, because a lot of work it has made a lot of breakthrough in terms of technology and so on. So the first thing that we should do is to save, to preserve the company, and to punish those who are responsible for corruption, and to limit the punishment. But if you study, if you analyze how the prosecution was done in a number of countries, it was like a revenge. It was mixed because the political purpose, and because the prosecution done to officials was driven by political purpose. But here it was driven by judges who prosecute only for the sake of justice, not for other things. So the second thing which country missed is a prosecution system should be supported immediately after the prosecution by a management change that rehabilitates the institutional function, the audit, control, compliance, to prepare a culture change based on a culture of integrity. And this is the conclusion that I wanted to come to, is that prosecution, toughening the rules, compliance alone, they cannot end corruption.